most this weekend they haven't been contested, but they're not having the performance that we expected from them. But maybe being contested is what they need. Some teams perform better in these situations. They have the stacks to hit the rotate further if they need it, and maybe this is how they get their damage up and just kind of get things kind of warmed up. And here it is, Has trying to get warmed up now, trying to work his way down. Only has 5 builds though, doesn't have the best loadout, but 88 with the green pump is enough to take down Trap with the follow-up. Gets a shot from behind as well though, but they have the numbers advantage. But as I say that, I think this is now down to a 2v2 right now. It's going to be, it looks like Good Guy Nani's on the low ground, Chaotix on the high ground. I actually think Paper's having some connection issues right now.
As you know, Nani had the one single advantage, and there it is, the little bit of a DC. So unfortunate, but with a man down, they can still do something big here, at least convert onto Nani, who's hanging out in this area. The fact that he's still walking around means that they know he's going to be here, and it means he also probably hasn't picked up the key cards. You see some shots coming in from the mountain, so it's about time to get up out of here.
Yeah, I think they either got to take the fight and close it out quickly, or just say that maybe this wasn't the game, hit the rotate and see what they can make out of it. We saw yesterday some duos have some really big performances, and there it is though. That was really well played. Chaotic, I think, crouched off to the side there, just had a real slow flank off, and then had Has on the top making plenty of noise to make sure that they thought he was still there. So really nice play. But yeah, I was going to say, we had some duos pull off some good performances yesterday, so it's not completely undoable. Yeah, I think that's the situation as well. We see Furious take down Bizzle in the feed, so that's pretty rough. That's a team that we're expecting to have another big day here, as they had a pretty good one yesterday, coming in 7th place. They changed up their playstyle a lot. Sweaty Sands is their rotate, and they kind of changed it with the addition of Peppermint. They went for a later rotate, a little bit more comfortable coming in, and I don't know if it's still working for them. We saw them in the last few weeks setting up really early, and they always set up ambushes or fights around Salty, and it seems like those mid-game fights were actually better for them, and that's what I want to talk about with Jamper, Avery, and Booger. They have a lot of firepower, Monster, so like you said, it's interesting. They kind of set up and go for really safe tags, when fights like this that maybe are full-blown 3v3s could actually be better for them, because they're going to come in with the best loadout as Cosmic falls down, and so does Do though. So Suesu has to try and solo clutch this one up right now, and he's in a bad spot. He's in the base, there's no way out, but never mind, he knocks one. Polarized goes down. He might be able to finishes him off and see if he can do something else. He has 135 builds. Not that it's going to matter when you're in the basement with not a lot of spots to go, but this is an all-round box fight, Monster. The crash pad comes, he's in the box, but he has the piece control. You can't jump through the walls like that and then miss your shot, and Suesuo not only wins the fight, Monster, but neither of his teammates got finished. They got no points from that engagement. That enemy team blundered so hard.
Or Mega Dubs and Riverson, excuse me, are all getting into the engagement here. This is a box fight. Okay, they're playing the low ground. I think for low ground as well.
And they got decent loot. I want to see them win this so badly right now. They got 2 eliminations on the board. They've got decent loot here from Dubs, and there it is. Gets another one though. Capitalize. That's 3 eliminations down. Mega's pretty low though. They got to do something, and this is where the spray is going to come out. They're up on top of a big hill. There's a lot of sidelines, and I'm seeing 3 arrows in your bottom right start working more towards this team. So they've got to capitalize on this, finish it quickly, and then kind of base up and re-go defensive. But got the Stark rifles as well, and it's crazy to see. This is the one weapon, Monster. I don't know about you. It's hard to believe us as commentators do actually play the game sometimes, and for some reason, every time I watch a pro use the Stark rifle, it's just laser accurate. It's beautiful. It's such a good item. It has, like, you know, the different uses. You can go out of ADS and you can shoot faster. I can't hit my shots with it. It's the one thing, and there you go, Kanata right there. The single shot straight down. Kanata gets finished, and that was only a knock though, and like I said in the feed, we saw another player from this team fall, so I think this is a solo, and you touched on it yesterday, just there, Monster. I think it was Bucky. There's not much you can do against that. Just,
you know, trickled their way down the standings. So they're not out of the competition by any means, but they do have to step it up. 28 points, 21st place. Pledge with a single elim now. They're underneath the Storm Surge threshold. And look, they have to get closer and closer to this battle, or think about jumping in. Fix is gonna fall. That's actually a huge knock they steal away with, and the headshot there to back it up. Oh no,
Pledge.
Not good.
Gage. I was running Gage. I was like, Gage, build the wall. You got to protect your teammate. But he did. Like he said, Storm Surge makes you do silly things like that. You move out of the box, you go for your shots, and you just don't protect yourself because you're too worried about the inevitable storm damage that is coming. So makes a bit of a mistake, but I don't think he'll be punished too hard for it unless they push in. It looks like they're not, though. It's Mars that's nearby, Nexi as well. I think they'll be happy with their damage, and they're not going to push onto it. And luckily they didn't, because Connor's off to the side as well, Monster. So Gage and Pledge were kind of split there.
Yeah, definitely. But if they would have got collapsed on, Connor's angle would have worked a lot better. That little bit of surprise factor. So ultimately, it did work out either which way. Here's the other side of the zone, though. You can see the bouncers coming out. Everyone has to make a cross here. This team is lit up. Tahi, Gabe, and Sprite. Tahi and Sprite, no shield. Nothing in the inventory either to back it up. Look at that. 30 ammunition. So that's all that's left in the magazine.
Builds.
My gosh.
This is your definition of shambles right here. And they're lucky they didn't get shot out of the sky there. Tahi and Sprite are very lucky because it would have been a single, pretty much assault rifle shot from almost anything. As Tahi's setting up for the beam now, he needs this. He needs some kind of siphon, needs something to get himself back in the game. And just making that rotate and surviving it though. There it is, gets the siphon. Another player in the sky. And this is why the early rotate was so good. It left them open to maybe getting shot, but at the same time, they played it perfectly. And they're doing some serious damage to teams around them. And these might be, you know, skins and players they can remember where it might be worth them taking, you know, a pretty desperate box fight here because they're not going to have much. You have to ask that question. Do you have what you need to win the game? No? Then you need a refresh from, you know, the immortal words of Zate there, one of the biggest competitive veterans there are. And that's how a lot of people have to play their games. They see a team in front of them. Looks like they're taking my advice. They're going in for it. They're going to break this wall. They don't take it, but they need something. They're desperate monsters. They need to take a 3v3 or something. They cannot try and play this game out with what they have. It's not going to last long.
Yeah, they have to. Look at Gabe's inventory. No AR ammo. None of them really have anything. That's going to be a split. He gets dropped 17 bullets, by the way. So that's what he has to work with. That's what his teammates are able to share. They literally need a shotgun battle. They have to take one if they want to find anything. Otherwise, they're just going to be snaking around, hoping for placement points. And, I mean, that's not the way to victory. That's not the way to success here. So, I mean, it is decision time for them.
Yes, that tightrope, if you want to get those placement points, you don't want to waste them, but at the same time, just one fight here that goes their way could change everything for them. They don't even have the material, though. There's literally nothing they can do. They're going to bouncer, and they're going to have to jump on someone. They're already looking for it. You can tell. They're going to try and find someone here that they can jump in on because they have to. They can't make this rotate with what I think so far is 15 builds combined. And 37 below the Storm Surge. Here he's playing on top. There it is. Larson finds him on the bounce. He needs that refresh. He does. He gets it. Gabe's looking good now, but a player runs over the top of it. He got good materials, though. Really good materials. 550. So he just doesn't have metal, and now he's holding things off, and that's what they needed. I think Sprite just got an elimination too. I think he just went up in health. Tahi's still rotating too, so they're doing big things with not a lot.
That is actually insane. The most shambles team finding the most shambles elims, though. If the big player is going to bounce him back somehow, some way. Definitely keeping himself in the game. Here's a wide shot. You see Riverson's still alive. Marzo W still up in the mid ground. Reverse Miro and Day's still there as well. So Jampro, Booga, Avery, Gage, Connor, and Pledge here taking another fight as well. Gage finds that Elam, like we said before, and it puts them just above the Storm Surge. If they didn't have that before, they would have been out of the game already, or at least facing a huge threat here. So it is very, very interesting as now. Looks like they're trying to jump in. Ooh, he's going to find Sprite there. Well played.
But still, that was only a knock, which means Sprite's team is still clutching on. They're still holding on to what little they have as Gage's team now making their way through. 8 points on the board so far. Good loadout too. Chug splashes, 4 crash pads, has the purple pump, which we know Endgame is so important for those big shots. Gage is trying to find him, and he does on a Chaotic, which means Chaotic has survived too. Today is a story of just clutching up with not a lot, but that's what you need to do for your team, as we have 13 teams alive, 30 players, and this zone is going to be a tough one. It's going right up to the dam. It's going right over the giant waterfall.
Yeah, that was massive, though. That little bit of material there is going to go a long way. 150 mass generated there. Another little tag. Okay, I thought I was going to have the big Elim, but it's okay. Gage still alive right now. 3 eliminations. Connor already picking up 1. There's players behind the wall here. What can they do? They have to work together. They have to actually go through this together. It's now or never. So there it is. Changing layers. Now down they go. Ooh. There's enemies here. They're so tagged up. Oh my gosh. Gage is left to clutch by himself. And oh man, Pledge finds one there.
Bandage cannon though, which could maybe get them back in this, but it's going to be hard for this whole team to get back up above them. No, it's going across so they can stay the low ground. This isn't a bad spot to be, as you see players dropping down there like Cobalt. They're doing really well to use that water to save their builds, but this is where the shamble teams are going to end up. Ooh. If you don't have good loot, you're going to end up on the low ground. And this is where the scrappy fights break out, and you need to win them. He's walking forward now. Gage doesn't have the shotgun out. He takes it, but he goes down to Storm because he didn't get the instant finish, so he didn't get the siphon, but they're getting their eliminations on low ground. And who is on the high ground? Which team is dominating this lobby? I saw Miro, there it is. It's Zate, Saf, and Stretch, of course, but Dubs, Mega, and Riversan ready there to spoil the party, Monster.
Yeah, definitely can. And look, the big names here. Dubs up. I see Commandment still up and Edgy there as well. Scented too, so that's a full trio. 2 full trios in the low ground. Owen and Threats left alive by themselves, but high ground pressure's coming in. Here's Zate and Stretch just firing on down. Saf doesn't have an Elim yet, but they're still very much in this game right now. And hold up, you can also see that Zate's running out of material here. That's kind of scary.
He's got just enough to stay on top of this, and you have to think the players beneath are running out even worse, though. But I think if they win this one, Zeke is going to have a heart attack. The consistency of this team to clutch up wins at the start of days is insane, but they might not be able to win it. They don't have as many meds for the heal off. If someone down below has some good meds, we saw a bandage cannon, or they do have 3 chug splashes, so setting up for the heal off, but can they work their way down right now? There's still 10 players in this lobby. They've rotated so well. Zeke goes down, shotgun comes out, only at 45, but he gets the finish. Who else is in this? That's Dub, so Riverside and Mega were still here somewhere. I think they've just fallen. Someone went down. Stretch is there. Saf goes down. Edgy could maybe do something here if he gets the siphon. Edgy toe-to-toe with Stretch, and no! Stretch comes out on top over Edgy, and Zay was going up to just try and stay in that storm, and they get another win in game 1, Monster.
I think the words he used were heart attack, but still, it's not enough, Reese.
It's not. I'm just... Yeah, and Mega, Dubs, and Riverside actually had a really big game there. 7 eliminations in third.